Oh. What? What's happening? Where am I? Why am I sitting in a pile of garbage? I wanted to make myself feel right at home with all the music we're about to listen to, and I must say this kind of feels right. 2024 was a weird year because it had incredible highs and somehow impossibly lower lows. With all the ease and ability to create music now with a touch of a button with AI tools, you'd think producers would try to take it upon themselves to differentiate themselves from the soon-to-be robot overlords and declare that, no, we humans will prevail and make better music than the robots. But no, that wasn't quite the case at all, really. This past year in EDM has potentially the worst class of terrible tracks in all of its history. Unnecessary cover tracks, unneeded genre fusions, lazy mix quality, and generic beats are all done quite purposefully to feed the algorithm of slop. I very honestly try not to be overly negative when it comes to this channel because, I just don't like that style. I don't think it's a great look for me, and that's just not the style of criticism I typically want to be giving. But, oh man, 2024 has really tested my patience. I mean this quite seriously when I say that I believe all 10 of these songs we're about to listen to are genuinely bad. Even though music as a whole is a balance of subjective taste versus objective quality, I very truly believe all of these songs are objectively bad for one reason or another. And if you like any of these songs, power to you. They clearly have fans one way or another because many of these tracks are more commercial leaning. I also think you can be a fan of objectively bad songs. So without any further ado, let's jump into the pile of garbage together and venture into what I believe to be the top 10 worst EDM songs of 2024. Within the overarching music industry as a whole, country music saw a lot of airtime on the charts. You've got obviously your staple country artists like Morgan Wallen and Luke Bryan, but there were a lot of typically non-country artists that ventured into territory this year with a variety of success, actually. Artists like Post Malone, Beyonce, Machine Gun Kelly, and even more decided that they would crack the whip this year. For some reason, KSHMR wanted to jump on that tractor too. Country roads, take me home. Right up front, I need to declare my biases, my bias. I really hate country music. I think 90% of the genre is oftentimes, I should say, same repetitive, derivative, and lazy songwriting that always has this need to tell fantastical and fabricated stories about cold beers and hot women. But with all that being said, John Denver's Take Me Home Country Roads is a classic. Whether it's at a sports arena, weddings, or anywhere really, the song is a true country classic that's hard not to love. But so easy to hate if a cover just doesn't do it justice. More than anything, I'm just confused why KSHMR wanted to even tackle this track. He's typically a dance pop producer whose tracks have an Indian aesthetic to it, so why is he making a commercial house cover of a country song? Country roads, take me home. Part of what makes the original song so iconic is its heart and soul that John Denver really pours into the track, with particularly strong storytelling on the verse sections. But KSHMR completely nukes half the song, opting to use only the chorus for this cover, and that just makes it feel even more disingenuous. The past couple of years in EDM has seen a slew of popular artists making bland covers, not even remixes of classic songs, and it's just a trend I hate, and I think it's given EDM a pretty bad rap as of late. As a young kid, I used to, and still do quite a bit today, love both first-person shooters and funny YouTubers. I believe that I grew up alongside the golden era of YouTube content with people such as CNanners, Hutch, Woody's Gamertag, and the whole Machinima clan, honestly. But there was one guy I loved in the Call of Duty space, specifically more than anyone. So much so to the point that I think I had seen every single one of their uploads at one point. But as I grew older, my tastes changed, and so did their content, and we sort of drifted apart as it naturally happens. So boy, was I ever surprised when we'd be reconnected and reunited from a Monster Cat song.
You don't know me better than me. You don't know me better. You don't know me better than me. You don't know me better.
Vikkstar and Masked Wolf's Know Me Better is quite frankly a song that offers next to nothing. The production is bland slap house, the drops are copy-pasted, and the lyricism sounds like it was written by AI.
You still went ahead and broke that trust. You don't know anything about me. Why you trying to play the game for free?
I do feel a touch mean putting this on the list, as this was practically Vikkstar's third ever release as a producer, and I do acknowledge that you have to start somewhere. But I just know that a couple more years of experience wouldn't have really helped that much. Masked Wolf in his own right didn't really have the best reputation, as he produced so far a cacophony of bland trap and pop rap already before the song was even released. So with Vikkstar's lack of experience and Masked Wolf's already poor history of releases, this was kind of just the perfect storm.
You don't speak no truth. Ain't know what that's getting through.
And in all honesty, I don't think I would have really even seen this track if it wasn't picked up by and released on Monster Cat, my literal favorite label of all time. And if I were to be pretty blunt here, I'm a little concerned that Monster Cat would sign a song like this, one artist that doesn't really have EDM tracks even half the time, and another artist who's not really proven themselves in the space yet. Which, the latter is something that Monster Cat used to do, and I loved them for it, taking the risks on smaller artists back in the day. But over the last couple years, Monster Cat has begun to emphasize signing tracks from artists more for their name value rather than song quality, and I just don't think that's a healthy path forward. Part of why I dislike those cover tracks like Take Me Home, Country Roads is that it does a hard genre switch on a classic that oftentimes feels untouchable. It took a country classic song and turned it into a wannabe dance pop anthem. So what happens if you take a 1966 Latin classic, turn that into another wannabe dance pop anthem, but this time add country to it? Well, I think it makes the song worse.
I like it like that. She pour another shot and now we going back to bed.
Early in 2024, Alesso had already tackled country music with his uninspired remix of Shaboozie's hit single, a bar song, Tipsy, but for some reason, he doubled down just a couple months later to cover Pete Rodriguez's iconic Latin classic of I Like It Like That. But rather than merely turning it into another dance pop cover anthem, Alesso teams up with Nate Smith to give the track a new country twang to it.
Everywhere I go, a little smoky. Said she in a mood for.
And I just have to ask, why? Even if the variety of all these sounds and styles did gel well together, I just don't understand the purpose in going so far out of your way to make it happen. This feels like a blatant attempt at pandering to as many people at once, foregoing any semblance of care for music as a whole in favor of doing what they know will stream well.
Now she got her hands up on my Levi's. Talking about how she.
Alesso is a genuinely fantastic producer. I think the man has just been suckered into modern trends, whether that's from his own volition or from top-down managerial pressure. Regardless, it's not a great look for him. Being a creative is both a blessing and a curse. As someone that would personally call themselves a creative, there are times where I would feel like I could probably tackle any artistic medium and do at least a somewhat decent job at it. That is until art supplies are pushed in front of me and I realized I can't draw, I can't paint, and I can't even write to really save my life. There have been numerous times where I have been quite frankly humbled as I very clearly fail at something I thought I would be at least a little good at. And, well, here's to hoping that this is Alec Monopoly's humbling moment. Notorious graffiti artist and New York-born DJ Alec Monopoly is a creative. And for him, his primary medium is art, specifically street art like graffiti. He's got some real talent for it, and I quite clearly enjoy that he has a unique style to his craft that has garnered him notable attention for his work. But on the music side of things, being a DJ and a producer are two very different things. I would know that. I would say I'm a pretty competent DJ, but I am not a producer, and I know that. Apparently, Alec doesn't. Teaming up with MEDUZA, these two have pumped out one of the worst songs of this year, period. At only 123 seconds in length, this song has a singular drop that lacks anything of note with the blandest sound design of the year. I truly believe that this song was made in an hour or two as Alec and MEDUZA got in the studio together for the briefest of moments, fancied half a drop, called it a day, and hit the club for longer than they spent making the song. This song is the epitome of boring, senseless crap. I'm not sure whose idea this collaboration was, but I sure hope it wasn't MEDUZA, because this is quite frankly a slap in the face to EDM artists around the world. To have the platform and opportunities they have had as an artist to not only go and put that little effort into a singular track is a bad look. Please no more of this garbage, MEDUZA. I know you can do better than this. Techno undoubtedly took over 2024, largely in part to the success of M.I.A at the forefront and general usage of high-quality visuals that lend itself well to that style of music. But with the success of anything in the music space, you'll always have your fair share of bad actors. VINNE and Dillon team up on Bad Cop for what might just be the most minimalistic techno track of the year. And while minimalism can be a tool to be utilized, well, some producers use it as an excuse for laziness in sound design. There are maybe a total of 5 different production elements used throughout the song, and that's it. You've got your vocal sample of the police telling you to put your hands up. You've got that one basic kick, a singular metallic synth used on the first melody, a quarter note hi-hat, and then an electro synth used for the second drop with a kind of faded out sustain used only for that second drop as well. I would love to see how long it would take a skilled producer to reproduce this song in full. It can't be any more than 15 minutes tops. And to further drive this point home, the song is pretty much entirely copy-pasted right down the middle, except for the slight difference in synths used for the melodies and that addition of the kind of backing sustain on the second half. But quite literally, everything else about this first and second half of this song is the same. This is already a short 2 minutes and 21 second track, and it's even shorter when you really think about it. I have this weird love-hate relationship with Dillon where he's created some of my favorite party anthems of the last decade, but also teamed up for songs like this that fall flat on its face. I'm so eager for this techno trend to be over. Well, it looks like we have officially hit the point in the music industry where we are getting 2 dream levels deep into the inception that is the wonderfully terrible world of cover songs. We have hit the point where we are now covering the songs that are already practically cover songs.
Now hush, little baby, don't you cry. Everything's gonna be alright.
It apparently took 4 once elite level producers to pump out this cover of a cover, as Tiësto, Dimitri, Like Mike, and Gabry Ponte pump out a Eurodance cover of Eminem's Mockingbird. Now, maybe not actually a cover by definition. Eminem famously took the traditional Southern American lullaby of Hush Little Baby and morphed it into an all-time great rap song. So again, I ask, why are we turning this into a Euro trance anthem in 2024? These 4 could have easily used the lyrics of the original lullaby and not the Eminem adjusted lyrics, but that's not the point. The point is that people know the Eminem version and they love the Eminem version, so surely they are gonna love this, right? No! But numbers speak louder than real criticism, and considering that the song is sitting at just over 80 million streams by the end of the year, these guys can merely wipe all of their criticism with their newfound stacks of cash.
Everything's gonna be alright. Stiffen that up her lip up, little lady, I told you.
I'm genuinely curious to know how a song like this gets made. Like, seriously, what happens when you get 4 producers all together in one room to make a song as boring as this? There is no way this song needed 4 people to make it. This is just another prime example of using name value and derivative production to make a song that just prints money. And I mean, if people are gonna keep listening to it, why not do it? There are some songs that I can appreciate at least a little bit for trying something new. Even though things don't necessarily land in execution, at least you tried something new and you learned from it. Not this one, sadly. This should have been cut long before it saw production. As someone that's gonna be a father in the next couple months, I should probably get my act together. I cannot fathom the idea of taking a baby's cry and auto-tuning it to become the foundational sample for your new comeback track.
M.I.A.
After a 2-year break, M.I.A. jumps back into the limelight for a random Major Lazer 15-year anniversary track that we definitely didn't need. And get this! After having a 5-year relationship with Diplo through the early 2000s that didn't end on good terms, the irony is that M.I.A. here is singing about where the daddy of her child is? Also, why is the baby in the roll call to start? That's ridiculous, come on! Putting all the irony aside of making a song with your ex about trying to ask for child support from your baby daddy that's no longer in the picture, this song is a basic trap beat that doesn't bring any energy to the track, and constant "where's the daddy" stanza gets boring incredibly quickly. And furthermore, whatever processing they have done to M.I.A.'s vocals make it sound incredibly cheap. And the last thing I want to say about this track, I know M.I.A. hit the jackpot with her iconic track, Paper Planes, but you don't need to add the exact same gunshot and cash register samples to every song she's in now. We know she made Paper Planes. We know this is M.I.A. It's one of the biggest dance hits of the 2000s. Where's the daddy? More like, where's my drink? Because I need one after this. Is there... Oh. No. Oh, okay. There are just some songs in the world that should not exist. I'll just put it bluntly. And honestly, I'm getting real tired of saying the same old thing about all these tracks, so yes, this is another cover turned into an entirely new and unnecessary genre. Just roll the clip.
There you go.
I mean, what are we even doing here? The peanut butter jelly song as an up-tempo hardcore track? I know this is Little Texas's style and it's his whole getup, but like, maybe put a little effort into coming up with some ideas that aren't immediately bad on paper?
One more time.
This song exists only to be a meme. I can't think of any other reason that a track like this would, quite frankly, exist. I feel like I'm losing my mind here. This song even comes with an accompanying Gabry kick edit. There are multiple versions of an up-tempo hardcore Little Texas remix of the meme Peanut Butter Jelly. Why? I'm quite frankly starting to fear for my sanity at this point, and we've still got 2 tracks to go, so for my sake and yours, let's keep things moving, please.
Hard styles.
For some reason, there are artists that just get entranced by a specific era that they want to fully embrace. It may not even make sense or might not even sound good, but they're completely committed to this new sound that I'm sure they believe is gonna be the sound that defines their career. Oh, and with 3 EPs and a smattering of singles, please, Timmy, you can just stop at any point. Timmy Trumpet has a current fascination with blending together the sounds of classical music and hardstyle in particular, and it's not a great look. Classical music is pretty much as sacred of a genre as you can get. It represents humanity's venture into a wonderful world of complex instrumentation, songwriting, and the acknowledgement that music can become something beautifully and well crafted. All the years of music evolved into where we are in 2024, only for Timmy, Trumpet, and Bassjackers to absolutely take a big old dump on the whole thing. Oh, there is absolutely nothing of substance to engage with on this track. Even on a surface level, the tonal whiplash of hearing an iconic classical melody at the top of the song only for it to be burnt to the ground with a lifeless hardstyle beat just 30 seconds later does something to a man. It does this. Go. But more than anything, I hate the sentiment that this track repeats time and time again with classical music is in all things, even hardstyle. Because I somewhat get the sentiment. Classical music is a foundational piece of the music industry, and hardstyle in one way or another has evolved from classical music. But once the hardstyle drop kicks in, the classical music is completely gone. There is not one piece of anything classical and or any semblance of what we heard just seconds ago.
Classical music is in all things,
even in hard styles.
There is an abundance of irony within that statement, and no one managed to catch that. Not Timmy Trumpet, not the Bassjackers, not their managers, engineers, or the marketing team. No one stopped and said, yeah, but the hardstyle removed all the classical elements that you're talking about. This isn't classical anymore. What are you even saying anymore? This was truly a disgrace of electronic dance music production that should have never found its way onto streaming platforms.
Hard styles.
Okay, I am not sure I am able to properly express how much I hate this final song. This song is the true embodiment of everything that I hate about the modern commercial trends of electronic dance music. So please, let's get this over with.
I'm looking for a man in finance. Trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes, finance.
Okay then, let's break down everything I hate about this one step at a time. First things first, this is one of 8 different versions of the same song. You've got Man in Finance, Man in Finance, Team of Pages remix, Man in Finance, Welcome to the Hamptons, Man in Finance, 6'5", Man in Finance, Blue Eyes, Man in Finance, Rios mix, Man in Finance, G6 Trust Fund, and finally the star of the show, Man in Finance with David Guetta. Pardon my language, but what the fuck are we doing here? If you thought the sped up and slowed down versions were egregious in the industry right now, this is straight up laughing in my face.
Trust fund, 6'5", looking for a man in finance. Trust fund, 6'5".
Number 2, this and the version prior are literally a Like a G6 clone. And I mean it when I say clone. This isn't a cover and it's not a remix. It's literally the exact same. Same production, same melody, and same beats as Like a G6, which is a party anthem I did enjoy at one point in my life, but has now been soured forever. And I can't believe they brought David Guetta onto this track to make the thing sound worse. The non-David Guetta version is at least slightly better than this, and I know they brought David Guetta on for name value alone, and frankly, it's disgusting. Thirdly, they somehow made this ultimate version of the song the shortest one. 113 seconds to be exact, 1 minute and 53 seconds. Our Zoomer brains so cooked that we can't listen to a song for more than 2 minutes without getting bored? Is this what things have come to?
I'm looking for a man in finance. Trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes, finance.
And additionally, this song exists only to capitalize on a singular moment in culture that barely lasted a week. I mean, good for Girl on Couch here for capitalizing on the moment and getting the bag, but David Guetta and Billen don't need this. They don't need to trend hop like they're starving for listeners. David Guetta himself has genuinely had some horrific songs in 2024. So much so that if I didn't limit myself to 1 song per artist on this list, he would have appeared 3 additional times. I know community and critics alike have really torn into his collab with OneRepublic and the I Don't Wanna Wait track, but that song isn't nearly as actively bad as Man in Finance is.
Finance, trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes.
Okay, I need to get out of all this garbage and go have a shower or something that can clean off all this filth. Ugh, 2024 in commercial EDM was disgusting, and I sure hope this was peak suck because I don't know if I can handle another year like this. Not at this rate. Ugh.